press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello all, I hope that all are doing good. So today I am here with you with the new chapter from your supplement reader book. The name of the lesson is The Old Clock Shop. From the title of this lesson, we can assume it, we can guess that. So this lesson is about related to, is it anything about the clocks? Clocks and its shops? Yes, that's true. But here, this lesson is about a person who is old and he is also a owner of the clock shop. The name of the person is Ray. And this person is very kind, very humble, and he is very helping nature. If he see any person who is in problem, so he is ready to help him. He is neither bothered about his own situation, but he can be ready to help others. And the one more thing about this person is, he is a deaf. He can't hear anything. Then also, he is very kind. He can understand others' problem. Okay, so let's see about how he can tackle others' problem and how he can understood the problems of the person who has came to his shop and how he had helped him. So let's see in this today's class. Okay, so here I have told you this lesson is about a person. The name of the person is Ray. He is a owner of a clock shop. Okay, so he is a deaf person. So let's see here. It's Christmas Eve and closing time for shops. Ray's old clock shop is still open. Two shoppers call at this late hour. So this story has takes place during the Christmas season. You know, the day before the Christmas is called as a Christmas Eve. Okay, which is in the evening time. So that's called as a Christmas Eve. So during that period, so this story has took place. Okay, so almost all the shops were closed. Only one shop has opened, and that shop is the Ray's shop. Still, it has opened. Two shoppers call at this late hour. So he is also ready to close his shop, but the two person, they are called late shoppers. So they have arrived to this Ray's shop. Okay, so what they had done here? So let's see here. Christmas Eve had arrived as last minute shoppers were going home. A thick white sheet of snow lay over Salt Lake City, USA. Okay, so this story has took place in the city. The name of the city is Salt Lake, which is situated in USA. Okay, so almost when it has takes place means, so in the month of the winter season. Okay, winter season. So where everywhere the snow has covered in this city. So it is a thick sheet of snow which has covered on the streets of the place called the Salt Lake. Okay, there, and they are the last minute shoppers. They have arrived to the Ray's shop. Yet the lights were still burning in the old clock shop. As Ray, its old deaf owner, worked on a clock he had sold that day. So still the lights were burning in the Ray's shop. Okay, so he just wanted to close his shop, but because of some work, he has not yet closed his shop. Okay, and then he is old. So again here I am introducing the person here, who is the person owner of the shop, that is Ray. He is old and also deaf owner. Then worked on a clock he had sold that day. So he is working on particular clock which he has sold it. Okay, which he has sold it, but he is working on that clock. So then what happened here? Having finished his work, Ray stood up and was on his way to the back room when a cold rush of air from the front door hit the back of his neck. So almost he has finished his work. So he was turned towards the back room, okay, to get something, because he is ready to get out of the shop. He wanted to close his shop. So suddenly the door was opened, and then he felt it that the air was rushing towards him, and which he felt the air is breathing near his neck. Okay, that means the door was opened. Okay, someone has came to his shop. So who's that? He turned to meet a last minute shopper, but his old wise eyes told him that this was not a shopper. So suddenly when he felt it, the air is breathing near his neck. So he was turned back. So there he saw there are two shopper. Okay, the last minute, there he is calling them last minute shopper. Okay, because he wanted to close his shop. Then he guessed that. So what is? This is an old and wise person who this Ray is. Okay, so because of his intelligence, because of his wisdom, he understood that who is the last minute shopper, they are not good people. Okay, so what they are telling, their eyes told him that this was not a shopper. Whose eyes? The shopper who came to the Ray's shop. So those people eyes telling that they are not a shopper. Their intentions are something different. They are not came to purchase anything from his shop. Okay, so who guessed that? So Ray has guessed that because he is an old person. He had met so many people with his experiences and throughout his life. Okay, and he is having that intelligence. So his eye, those people eye says that they are not shopper. They are not came to his shop for purchase anything. Then who these people are? He saw two men, one in his 20s, the other closer to 50. So these two people who came to his shop, they are not at the same age. So one is 20 year of age, and another person is he is a 50 year of age. Then the younger man remained at the door. So who is 20 year of age? So he was stood near the door. He was not came inside the door. So he was remain at the door. Okay. The older man approached the counter with no sign of friendliness in his eyes. The older person, okay, so who the age of that shopper is 50, he came inside the shop and then he moved to the counter. Okay, counter means there is a table on the shop. So where the Ray, the owner of the shop, he was doing all his work all over the day. Okay, so he reached to the counter and there is no sign of friendliness. So by his gestures, by his way of looking, and by his all the activity, whatever he is doing, so it is a signing that it is symbolizes that there is no friendliness in his gestures. Okay, so his intention is not good. That means his intentions are not good. Okay, then Ray was unable to hide his growing fear as he slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil across the counter. So here Ray was unable to hide his fear. He started fearing who? Ray, because he understood that these people are not shoppers. They are not came to purchase anything from the shop. They are not customers. So he can guess it. He can sense that these two shoppers' intentions are different. Okay, so he was afraid. He was fearing. Then suddenly he took a notepad. Notepad, it's a kind of a notebook, okay, to write something important thing. So he has took it and then a pencil also. So why? Because he is deaf. He can't listen anything. Okay. So now he is giving a notepad and a pencil to that customer. Means that person who came to his shop. Actually, is not a customer. So don't mention here they are the customer. So they are a strange people and they are not shoppers also. Okay. Then he smiled at the unfriendly face, then pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side. Okay. Even the Ray is also not smiled in a friendly manner. Okay, because a little bit doubt in his smile. So then suddenly he put his fingers on ears. So then he shook his head. Who? The Ray. Okay. Then what it symbolizes? That he can't listen anything. He is not hearing. He is a deaf man. Okay. A quick look of surprise changed the man's face as he studied the notepad, then turned and said something to his friend. A quick look of surprise. Okay. Suddenly that person that chopper, the 50-year of age of man who came to his counter, he wasn't surprised by seeing it. So what he was gestured, what the Ray has gestured here. Okay. Then he studied the notepad, then turned and said something to his friend. So what the Ray has written on the notepad, he read that and he was looked into the friend who is standing near the door. Standing means outside of the shop. So he said something to that person. Okay. So whose intention this is? That is Ray. Okay. So Ray is trying to tell us this. Okay. He said something there. Then Ray used the chance to look closely at the man, paying attention to the shape of a gun and a restless hand in the man's right coat pocket. So when this person turned to say something to the person who is standing outside the door, suddenly the Ray is also get a chance to look the person who is standing, okay, and he is paying the attention, okay, that who is the person and what he is saying. Then suddenly he saw that, Ray has saw that, so he has a gun, a shape of a gun in his hand, which is in a right pocket of his jacket, okay. So he had a gun in his hand. So who saw this? Ray has saw this. Then anger boiled within him, but it was kept down by an inner voice that said, "Be still." Now he wasn't angry, because now he is sure that these people intention, they are not shoppers. Their intentions are different. They came here to rob the shop. Okay. So now the Ray has got it angered. But still his inner sense, his inner voice says that, inner voice means his mind. Okay. Be still. Don't act anything. Okay. So be still. Don't be afraid. Don't be in anger. So his inner voice said him. Okay, then he wrote on the notepad, "May I help you?" For the first time, the older man looked directly at Ray and smiled. So when he understood that these people came to rob the shop, so then suddenly, so what the Ray has did, he took a notepad and he has wrote something on a pad. Okay, so what he said, "May I help you?" So this is the question. It has written on the notepad, okay, which is asked by the Ray to that person. Then this is the first time the older man looked directly at Ray and smiled. Okay, so when he saw that this person is really trying to help me, so that older person, the first time he just smiled in a not in any intention manner, but he just smiled it. Okay, he looked directly into the eyes of Ray and he just and he was smiled. Okay, then a cruel, but that smile was a cruel smile, mocking smile. Okay, that smile, it was a cruel smile. It was not a sweet smile. Okay, it is not a friendly smile. It's a cruel smile. Then a mocking smile. Mocking smile means it's like a teasing him. Okay, teasing him that he is a deaf. They both understood why he was there, why his friend remained at the door. Now by his eyes contact, by the smiling face, by the gestures, these two people understood. Who? Ray and the older person who came to the Ray's shop. They have understood that. So what is the intention to came to their shop, to his shop? Okay. Then they looked like men who were down on their luck. Okay, so means these two people, these two shoppers who came to the Ray's shop, they are looking like the men who were down on their luck. Underline this sentence. The men who are down on their luck means somebody is facing a bad situation. Okay, by their gestures, by their acting, by their means that person who is standing there and he holding a gun and all. So that means that here these two people facing a difficult problem. They have facing a bad situation. So that's why they came to the Ray's shop. Okay. So he understood this. Who? Ray has understood it. Okay. Then and were now ready to try something they would later be sorry about. Okay. So whatever they were doing here, they later be sorry about it. Okay. So this is the thing here. Let's see the next paragraph here. The clocks ticked on. Ray calmly wrote another message. Have you come to pick up a clock or a watch? Ray has understood, but he is asking to the person in very polite manner that he wanted to know what is this his intention to came to his shop at this time, and why that person is holding a gun in his hand. Okay, so once again he wrote something on a notepad. What he has written here: have you come to pick any watches? Means a clock or a watch. So you came here to take your watch or clock. So like that he asked the question. Then he pointed to the lone board filled with the hanging clocks and pocket watches. Okay, so suddenly he just pointed something is there on the hanging clocks. Okay, so where it was like lending some monies or like watches and all. So he was pointed there. Okay, who this Ray? Sorry, not the Ray, the old person. Okay, the 50-year-old person who is a stranger. Then he was not a pawnbroker, but at the same time couldn't say no to the needy people who placed their old watches or clocks before him for anything they could get. Okay, who is not a pawnbroker? Let's underline this line. Pawnbroker means who lends money on interest and keeping articles on security. Okay, that is called pawnbroker. Okay, so you can tell that a person who is lending money, he can keep any kind thing like a jewelries or any the property papers. Okay, the person who are in need, so they just lend the money by getting the security of a person. So this Ray is not a pawnbroker. Okay, the old person, the owner of a shop, he is not a pawnbroker, but at the same time he couldn't say no to the person who they are in need. Okay, so he can't say no to the needy people. Okay, then place their old watches and clocks before him for anything they could get, and the person who came to his shop for a help, so they can take the clocks or a watch for their as a security, and then he lend the money. Okay, so like this he can help them. He loan more than he should. Actually, how much he give the amount? If the watches or any clocks worth is not more it is, so then also he can lend more than the value of that watches or clocks. Okay, he can lend the money more than anything else. Okay, then they would be there when the owners wanted them back at the same price he had paid with no interest. If the owner, if they will come to his shop to get it once again, their watches or clocks which they keep that things for a security, so till then he just preserved it. Okay, till then he just preserved it, he couldn't sell them. Okay, then with the no interest he just take his money back, and then he just give their properties. Okay, their things, whatever they were lent to his whatever they were give for a security, once again he just give him back by giving the money with no interest. Like this kind he is helping to the people who are in need. Okay, then the older man seemed to feel a little easier, took out his hand from his pocket and quickly looked at the watch on his wrist. So suddenly when he understood, the old man, okay, the stranger person who came to his shop, so now he felt little bit easier. Okay, now he didn't feel any discomfort, because this person understood that Ray he will be ready to help him. Okay, so then suddenly he took his hand in his pocket, and then he just hold his hand, wrist watch, okay, towards the watch, and then, how much will you give me for this? The man wrote. So when he took the watch, the wristwatch in his hand, then he asked by writing something on the notepad. What he has written here? Then, how much will you give me for this? Okay, so like this way, that old man, he is writing on the notepad, telling to the Ray. Okay, so he is asking the value of the watch. Okay, this is Ray noticed a little shame in the grey eyes looking at him. So Ray was observing the eyes of the person. Okay, you know that the eyes are it's a clear picture of a person. whatever the things in your mind or which are the thoughts it's coming in your mind, the eyes are it's like a reflection of your mind, okay. So, and this ray is also understanding the eyes of this old person, okay, that stranger person, and he just observed that the eyes of that person changes into gray, okay. Then the watch was nothing special and something little bit of shame on his eyes, okay. So like this way, the watch was nothing special and it had great powers. So the watch which he wanted to give for lending money, so that watch it doesn't have any special qualities, okay. That is no special thing about that watch, but still also it had a great power, okay. So then it was something to exchange, the way out of a bad situation. It is good that if he wanted to rob the shop, then he could do it, okay, because he had a gun, okay. The old person and that person, their intentions are clear, okay. They came to rob the shop. If this ray has not understood and he has not give the money, so then they will be rob the shop. But at least he is giving his watch, okay, because he wanted to get off that bad situation. So he needs the money. So then he just exchanging. With the exchanging of the money, he just giving that his watch, okay. That knowing that great need had brought a man to his shop in the first place, Ray asked, how much do you need for it? Now Ray has clearly understood that. So something he needs money because of the something, because he is in a bad situation, because he is in a trouble, and this one has understood by the Ray, okay. So he knows it very well. Then once again he is asking to the man. So what he asking here, how much do you need for it? How much you need it? Because that watch is not having that value, but still he is asking how much you need it, okay. Who is asking? Ray is asking to that person. Ray reached into his cash box, pulled out a $50 note and passed it into the man's hand as they shook hands, okay. So suddenly he just observed all the situation. He went near to the shop, because this person is not saying how much he is expecting, and even he is asking, Ray is asking that, so how much you need it, but this person has not said anything about the how much he need the money, okay. Then now the Ray has understood. Then he went to his cash box. So suddenly he just took a $50 in his hand, and then he just passed into the hands of that old person, okay. As they shook hands, and they have shook the hands, Ray looked into the man's eyes. They seemed to say, thank you, okay. So when the Ray has looked into the eyes of this person, so the eyes are telling like that, it expressing like thank you, okay. Verbally they can't say, he doesn't say it, okay. Then but by his eyes, through his eyes, it is telling that he wanted to say thank you, okay. This Ray has understood. They both knew the watch wasn't worth that much. So both the people, Ray and the old man who came to his shop, they both understood that the worth of that watch is not $50. But then also Ray understood, and he is giving more than this its value, okay. And now he is also happy that at least this person is giving this kind of this much of amount, okay. Before turning to leave, the man wrote, I will be back to pick it up as soon as I can. Merry Christmas. So before he is leaving the shop, that person, and he has wrote something on a notepad. What he has written here, I will be back to pick up. I will be back to take my watch, okay, as soon as possible. I just be back to take my watch. And once again he has write it here, Merry Christmas at the end, okay. Then the little story ended on the half hour with the clock striking all together. So this story and the scene takes place for only half an hour, okay. And at the same time when he wrote and he just leaving that shop, so in the shop all the clocks were striking, okay. The striking means it says the timing. The bell is ringing. You can say the clock's bell is ringing. The timepieces, which had been looking on silently all the while, rang out the time with such feeling that even Ray thought he could hear them. Okay, so the timepieces, the all clocks and all the timepieces, which is be silent, remain silent till then the matter is not settled. Okay, means the time has over. Okay, so till then it is silent. Suddenly, when this man is living with happily, so this clocks is also ringing, it is also striking then. The time, this sweet musical message was filled with the hope. So sweet means message. What is the message of the clocks? So that is a hope. Okay, so they are giving a message to the people. So there is a hope, something. Okay, then the timeless message of peace on earth. And another message they are giving here. So there is a peace on the earth. If the Ray has not understood, if he act by looking the gun and he, if he has in a panic, he did something, okay, then the matter will be different, okay, the situations will be different. So they are ready to rob the shop by killing this Ray, okay, at least because of his help and because of his the way of thinking of the Mr. Ray. So what happened here? At least these people are not committed any crime. Okay, so that means there is a peace remain on earth. Okay, so this kind of a message is given by the clocks. Then goodwill towards all was felt by the three men who stood in the old clock shop. Okay, so the future it will be the good one. Their future should be the good one who are remain in that old shop. Who are the three people here? The two shoppers who came to the last minute and the Ray. Okay, the futures, their futures and the good time will be come in their life. Like that, the message it is moving around that shop. Okay, by the clockwork tricking. Okay, so like this. So what is the moral of this message? So everyone faces ups and downs in their life. Okay, so everything is not permanent. Okay, and then how was behavior in that situation? So that is very important. Such situations defines the persons we are. Okay, if the person, how the people are act in the bad and in the good situation. So that defines our personality, that defines our attitudes. Okay, if you think that we are in a bad conditions, so we can't, we have to blame to that people that because of them I'm in this situation. Okay, if you are be something like you have achieved something in your life and you are got success in your life, and you can't say that because of me, because of my talent I'm here. That creates an ego. Okay, so whatever the situations are, if it is a bad or a good situation, so the man should remain as it is, okay, without his changing his qualities. So that is the real kind of a person. Okay, so like this way we are understood this story. Okay, I hope that you all are understood and you are enjoyed this lesson. And when the people are in need, even these two people not verbally they have not talked. Okay, verbally they have not talked, by only the gestures, by the eyes, the Ray has understood. At least the God given that kind of a power to understand the problems, the need of a people. Okay, but we people, what we do, although all kinds of a sense organs we have also, and when some person came to our near to us, then to ask any help, so then also we are not ready to help them, is it? We started thinking and we just we trying to escape from that situation, is it? The person, either it may be in any of our friends or any our family or any relatives, they come to to ask any help. So what we do, we are trying to escape that situation, is it? We are trying to tell them no, is it? So that should not happen. If we not do that, why should that person commit any kind of crime? Okay, if we say yes, so at least yes, you can help, you can say something also, that's enough for the person. okay, the person who are in need. So this is about the today's class. I hope that you all are understood and you learned the moral from the lesson, okay. So we will meet in the next class. Till then, all of you stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you.